Hi there, I'm Adam. We are Candoco and we're a contemporary dance company.
Nous sommes aussi la compagnie Candoco.
We are a professional contemporary dance rep company.
We are a professional repertoire company that incorporates disabled and non-disabled dance artists.
And also we are female and non-female, and gay and non-gay.
This is the first company work that I'm making, so it's the first time that I'm not performing in the work. It's the first time that it's not about my autobiography. So the starting point really was the company, and I guess I wanted to talk about this idea of the company being disabled and non-disabled, and how do we talk about this in a way that isn't taboo or gets past the taboos or allows an audience to kind of into the discussion as well. So this is how it started. So I guess, yeah, it was a very challenging process for lots of reasons. One being making dance pieces usually happens in a studio in a certain period of time, a number of weeks. And so I don't usually work this way, for example. I usually work in little bits over a period of a year or two. So it's quite intense. And then secondly, it's the first time I've had to think about, in a way, how the material for the piece and the subject matter of the piece would come from people I'm just meeting for the first time. So we're kind of getting to know each other, and I'm kind of asking of them quite personal things to go into this piece.
And this was
like a space where we could just, talk randomly or really talk neat about meaty stuff.
And at that time, how? I think I was, I don't know, 18 or something like that.
HETAIN came with a real curiosity and openness to our own views and our own thoughts and ideas on who we are, both as a company and as individuals. And that for me really opened a door to very meaty discussions that allowed us to scratch beneath the surface.
So Miriam has 2 arms and 2 legs. She is a dancer, non-disabled. She speaks 6 languages. None of those are sign language. She is not a singer. Rick has 2 arms and 2 wheels. He has complex regional pain syndrome, which can be abbreviated to CRIPS.
Okay, I really honestly think we should stop being so British for one moment and just say it as it is.
So the way that I often construct my live works is through a series of different vignettes or scenes, if you like. And usually it's still dealing each time with the same subject matter in some ways, but there might be different people involved, there might be different languages involved, it might be a different mode, whether it's humour or singing or talking or movement. And I think the reason I like to do that is because it feels like you're kind of offering lots of different angles to talk about and look at the same thing. Because I don't believe there's one answer. You know, I don't have an answer, if you like.
Flamingo morphs into a dolphin. Only she can rewind Top Daily's entrances. Her heart is leaking through her hand. From restless to abandoned, it lays on the cold dance floor, slicing.
For me, disability fits in a similar region to all minority cultures, of which I also belong. As a British-born person of Indian heritage living in the UK, you know, I'm also part of a minority culture. And so my work is all about actually how it is that we can talk about these things in a way that it invites, I guess, a mainstream audience, if you like, or a wider audience into these discussions without it becoming a binary them and us, or without it being as an outsider or as something different to them, if you like.
All the material comes from the dancer, and then they genuinely have shared those stories in a place of trust. But then how do we weave them together? Keeping a sense of company, but keeping a sense of authorship from HETAIN. And that was a really fascinating process, because the piece really captures what Candoco is and questions it, but also captures a real signature from HETAIN, stylistically, but also in terms of a generosity and a desire to bring the audience onto a journey.
Relax for a little bit, so we can all know, actually, we should not calm down and relax. This is more about, it's not even about it's more, yeah, so, and that's human curiosity, actually, and it's the act, and that's about all the accessibility to just go down.
For me, the piece is very, very fun.
It's like, ah! And that's super. Also that the homeless really affected my body tone as well, and also that my muscles have become so much stronger and bigger than they used to be.
We speak about important things like different people, different disability, different language. If we try with the body or sign language, that can be interesting and that can be very fun.
I think that really happens in this piece, that you'll catch yourself laughing at something that perhaps you shouldn't be, and that immediately will make you think, well, why did I laugh at that? And was it right to laugh at that?
I hope the audiences will see another side of Candoco, maybe things that people wanted to be discussed, about what it means to have a company with disabled and non-disabled dancers. But also they will see the dancers in a quite uncluttered way, very, very raw way. It's quite naturalistic in that sense. Not only they tell their stories, but they are very open, very frank. And I think people like that when they come to Candoco. I think there is a desire to see the dancers for who they are.
It was really useful for us as 7 individuals to be able to be given that space and for someone to say, it's all right, we can talk about this.
It can be satisfying as well, very satisfying, but it can be frustrating sometimes. We don't feel it should always have to be spoken about anymore.